International condemnation of Iran's wave of executions tightens, while mass strike action hits Kurdish Iranian cities after Monday's hanging of 4 Kurdish political prisoners. As Turkish warplanes target villages in Iraqi Kurdistan, local residents are forced to evacuate, amid growing anxiety felt by communities coping with escalating tensions. DEM Party co-chair Tülay Hatimoglu took to the stage on Monday in Turkey's Kurdish-majority Diyarbakir to kick off the party's official campaign for the country's upcoming local elections. In other news, 31 ISIS militants were captured in a recent security operation in Al-Hol camp, northern Syria, according to Syrian Democratic Forces spokesperson Fahad Shami. Learn more with Media News. The execution of 4 Kurdish political prisoners in Iran on Monday has led to widespread outrage both inside and outside the country, provoking strike action. Rising anger against the Iranian government was compounded when Iranian authorities refused to hand over the bodies of the executed young activists to their families. A relative of executed prisoner, Mohsen Mazloum, said, "The oppressive regime of the Islamic Republic has obstructed the handing over of the bodies of our loved ones and informed the families that they intend to bury them in an undisclosed location." Several human rights organisations in the Kurdish regions of northwest Iran, known as Rojhelat, jointly called for protest action against the executions and rights violations, and on Tuesday morning, businesses across several cities had their shutters down. The international community, already alarmed by the escalating wave of executions in Iran, has been vocal in its condemnation. A coalition of 25 international human rights organisations urged UN Deputy High Commissioner for Human Rights, Nada al-Nashif, to postpone her planned trip to Iran on the 3rd of February. The visit could be used for propaganda purposes to whitewash Iran's human rights record, particularly in the wake of recent executions, the group warned. Turkish warplanes targeted several villages in the Ahmadiyya district of Iraqi Kurdistan on the 16th of January, causing extensive damage to civilian homes and displacing residents, new reports reveal. Despite the Turkish government's official statement that the strikes were aimed at Kurdistan Workers' Party, or PKK, bases, according to Fırat News, evidence on the ground suggests that the bombed areas consisted of houses and barns belonging to the villagers. The residents, who have not been able to return to their homes, face rising hardship and tensions in the region. Officials from the Kurdistan Democratic Party allegedly prevent the displaced residents from returning to the villages, exasperating the humanitarian crisis. As Turkish military operations against the PKK continue across the border in northern Iraq, Turkish forces are reported to have targeted a farm and a health clinic in the region on the 25th to the 26th of January. Alongside the air assaults, Turkey has reportedly deployed ground forces, including tanks and artillery, raising concerns about the safety of civilians caught up in the conflict. Reports also indicate that several villages in the area have been advised to prepare for possible evacuations in the near future. Turkey's People's Equality and Democracy, or DEM Party, officially launched its local election campaign on Monday in the Kurdish-majority southeastern city of Diyarbakir, or Ahmed. Co-chair Tülay Hatimoglu took to the stage, reiterating the party's unwavering commitment to Kurdish rights. She emphasised a broader objective of fostering equal citizenship among various communities, including Alevis, the largest minority faith group in the country. The co-chair underlined the party's stance on women's rights, youth empowerment, environmental protection, and the rights of workers and the underprivileged.
Arjantin'e, Tahrir Meydanı'ndan Rojava'ya, Bağdat'tan Hevler'e, Türkiye'nin ve dünyanın dört bir yanından biat etmiyoruz, itaat etmiyoruz, mücadele ediyoruz diyen bütün kadınlara selam olsun. 31 Mart seçimlerinde başta kadınlar olmak üzere belediyeleri tek tek kazanarak, kayyımları tek tek göndererek bizler yerelden demokrasiyi güçlendirmeye söz veriyoruz buralardan.
Security forces from the Kurdish-led autonomous regions of north and east Syria, in cooperation with the Syrian Democratic Forces, the People's Protection Units and the Women's Protection Units, have successfully completed a joint operation in Al-Hol camp, Launched on the 27th of January and supported by the Global Coalition Against ISIS, the operation aimed to eradicate active ISIS bases that had become a persistent threat. According to the Syrian Democratic Forces spokesman, Farhad Shami, the operation resulted in the capture of 31 ISIS militants. Security forces seized several mines, improvised explosive devices and materials associated with violent activities during the operation. A tunnel believed to be used by the extremists was also successfully destroyed. Shami declared the Syrian Democratic Forces' unwavering commitment to defeating ISIS and its extremist ideology. He emphasised that the operation aimed to make Al-Hol camp and the world safer. Camp Al-Hol's poor conditions, the overwhelming presence of ISIS-affiliated individuals, and the vulnerability of many young residents to extremist rhetoric have contributed to its status as a breeding ground for the Islamist group.